Hello everyone, so I am back with part 2 for making our recipe booklet. And what I thought we would do is decorate some of these white pages, and in your box you would find a stencil and a woodware stamp. But I sold way more subscription boxes than I thought, so I was not able to keep one of the woodware stamps in my inventory for me to use for this project, so I had to pull from new inventory, and I will be showing the new woodware stamps that I just got in another video, so be on the lookout for that, and I hope to do a project with them as well if time permits. I'm going to use this stencil. I ran out of the other ones, as I stated, and I wasn't able to get more. They're still showing out of stock. I do hope to get them back in stock eventually. You'll want to take your stencil, and I think we're just going to go along and stencil our page here to start off with. I found 3 blues that I have. I have Faded Jeans, Mermaid Lagoon, and this Tumbled Glass, and I think I'm going to use maybe a combination of these 3. I'm going to fade this out down here. And then I'm just going to hit other areas with the Faded Jeans. I like that. And then I think I'm going to distress the edge in this darker, the Faded Jean Distress Oxide color here. Just lightly go over those edges. We'll have this glued down, and we have a decorative page now instead of just having just white. And so for the next page, we can do some stamping. The stamp that I chose, I have a whole bunch of the new woodware florals, and I wish I would have had an extra one that was sent out in the subscription boxes. There was a dandelion one, there's some flower ones. They had more of a bold line to them, but I'm gonna have to use one of these instead. These stamps are really beautiful. These new ones I'm using, let's see, which one is it? Gardenia. And this is a new release, and so I will have this one available on my site if you're wanting to get this stamp. Again, I wish I had some left in stock of the ones that were sent out in the box, but I don't, and it just so happens that this stamp actually goes pretty well with this flower. But if you have the dandelion one or the other florals that were sent, they're a little more whimsical, and that's kind of what I was wanting. But I'm just gonna have to go with this one. And then I had a lady ask in a comment what colors came in the kit, and so it was from this Nouveau Diamonds, and I do have a few of these in stock as well. It's the hybrid inks, so you would have gotten one of these colors in your kit along with a Pink Fresh hybrid ink, and they're both hybrid inks, so they'll work with watercolor alcohol ink markers. They're really nice. But the colors that come in the Nouveau Diamond Pack, this is Sunset Serenade collection, and it's the Carrot Stick, Rich Rosewood, and Royal Plum. So you would have received one of these along with the black, and some received just a black ink pad, a larger one. So in the kit, you either received 2 cubes or 1 black ink pad. For those of you who just have a black ink pad and you want the colored ones, this is the collection. It's this Sunset Serenade collection. I'll have it in the shop available. I'll have a link below if you're interested in wanting to pick one of these up. I just have a few in stock, but I will be able to get some more. So I think I'm going to stamp this in black, because I know all of you who received a box, you got a black ink pad in your kit. I thought too that maybe we could do just a little watercolor, and I think I might just take and bring in some of these red tones. And it comes with this brush, which is not the best brush, so you might want to use a different one, and I think I am going to use a different brush. That brush is not very good. I think I'm just going to use one of my water brushes. And then I'm going to have a paper towel here, and I did print on 32-pound copy paper, so it's a little bit of a heavier weight copy paper. And I want, let's see, is that, actually that color is pretty good. I just want to make sure that my brush is not terribly wet, so I just want to kind of pat some of that added moisture down onto my paper, and I'm just going to do some sections here really light. I'm just going to do some brown on those edges there, my flower. For those of you who received like a dandelion or something like that, you can just take your color and just kind of splotch it on. And just add in some blue. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just being kind of quick and sloppy here. And then I think I'll add some yellow, just a little yellow to this. Orange. And then add in some brown. Okay. Now it looks pretty bad, especially doing watercolors on copy paper is really hard to do. So one of my little tips, tricks is always going to my white acrylic paint, and I'm going to take and add some white acrylic paint over those areas that we painted. Just kind of going in the center. And I think I need to add in a little brown. Just right here in the center. Some brown and maybe some yellow. I'm just taking the blue and kind of adding in some of my lines again. Just again, really, really rough, loose. And again, I'm just kind of following the lines from the stamp is all I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out where some of the darker shaded areas would be. And everything's pretty wet, so yeah, it's kind of all blending in there. Okay, so you can see how the white acrylic paint really dresses it up, I think. You know, I just took and pulled that white acrylic paint down into the wet blue areas. I kind of want it to match the watercolor flowers on our page here. I'm just going to kind of loosely with my brush, dot some of that color up in those dark areas. So I'm just doing a little bit of the black and that blue. So there we have our page. Okay. Just a little bit because it's going to create a kind of brown tone, but just going to add a hint of this. Okay, so I have my flower all done, and I was messing around with my page off camera, and so some things that I did is I printed a piece of this pattern in cardstock, and then I cut it to size, and I laid this back over my design, and I took the other half of it and adhered it to the other half of my page here. This design, I fussy cut out the flower from the page. So you can see how I fussy cut that out. And I thought we could use this and apply that there and kind of incorporate it with our stamped flower to tie the page together. And then I have the leaf, which I fussy cut out as well. And I thought that I could place that in here somewhere. I have these berries that I cut out, and I thought that I could just lay some of these here. And you'll see I had it glued down because I was pretty sure of what I wanted to do, and then I wasn't sure. And so it's attached to some lace and paper, and I don't know. I probably can't get the paper backing off. Let's see. Okay, so there's just that little bit of lace that's, you know, still on there. But I might just plop this down here maybe. So I might do something like that. And then on this page, what I was thinking is I have a recipe card that I cut. So I just took and I cut this top part off, and then I used my chomper, or you could use your scissors to round your corners. And I thought we would put one piece up here and then one piece down here. And then we have from the ephemera pack the pumpkin pie typed recipe card. And I thought we could create a pocket, kind of going like so, maybe a tuck spot there. I was thinking of using this piece here with the pumpkins, because we have pumpkin love and our pumpkin pie recipe, and doing something like that. And we'll just kind of tuck the recipe down in there. So I'm just going to start gluing stuff down. I have these little pieces, torn pieces up here that I think I'm going to use. Okay, and I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, this pumpkin love. Again, I have a little bit of lace attached to the back. That's because I thought I had a layout that I wanted to do, and I went ahead and glued it down, and then I changed my mind and I pulled it off of the paper here, and the lace backing was just, yeah, it was stuck. So you can add a little lace behind yours if you want, and I have little bits of lace going around here from when I did that. I'm going to move over to this page, and I think I'm going to distress these edges too, and I'm going to do it in that faded jean color, keeping that blue tone. And I'm going to create a pocket, so I'm just going to apply glue to the sides and bottom. And glue that down. Okay, and then we have our piece here, and I think I am going to apply foam dots or foam squares to the ephemera piece. So let's see. I'll apply it right about there. And then this will slide down. See, that holds, kind of just sticks to that foam square there. And I don't know if I want to add this in, this little mushroom. Kind of looks cool there. I have mushrooms there as well. And I think what I'm going to do is have, well, first I'm going to distress this. And I think I'm just going to apply glue just to that top section and the sides to create a little pocket there as well. So there is our middle page, and I am going to put a flap in the middle. I think that would look kind of neat. I thought we would take our packaging that was left over from the Prima flowers and use this because, you know, it's some nice cardstock, and I think we could make something fun with it. I thought it'd be neat to make this little tag. So I think I might cut this off. I will round my corners like I've been doing, and I'll use this piece too. So I think we'll cover this and then use this piece as well. And this measures right around 6 1/8. Now I need to think of what I want to put up in these corners. I could probably just do that. That I can put here, maybe do something fun like so. Pop those up a little bit and put a piece of ribbon, and then we can just use the back for another recipe or something. So I think the next thing that I want to do with this is create a hinge. I have a piece of scrap piece of cardstock that I'm going to use, and I cut it so it was 1 inch in width, and then the height of my tag that we're creating here. And what I'm going to do is take the rest of my paper here, and I'm going to glue it down so it goes like so. So I want that to be kind of butted up to there, and then I'm going to lay this over. And then really want to make sure that that is in place there. And then I'm going to lay this down my page. Kind of holding this in place with my right hand, and then I will trim it. And then because I got so much glue on there, I'm actually going to place it down on some heavy books to let it dry. But we'll have a flap created. Okay, so while that is drying, I am going to distress my edges of our page here in this rusty hinge color. There we go. And so now what I'm going to do is attach this onto our page that we've done, and we'll have this little flap going like so. And I'm just going to add in this little bit of trim up on top. So this will open up like so. And so I thought this is going to get sewed into this side of our envelope here. So we'd sew it right along here. So I'm thinking of scoring here, and then, let's see, I think I'll cut off right where this bird is. So the line, you know, we don't want to go past this flap here. So I'm thinking of cutting right there and then rounding my corners. I'm going to go ahead and just do a few marks here of where I want to do my score line. I think right past this sunflower would actually look kind of nice. And then I have to make sure that I don't go past this line, so I'm going to score right up in through there. And foam folder that I'm going to use this time. So you can do this if you don't have a scoreboard. I kind of wanted to show another way that you can score. So I'm going to score it right there. And this will get sewn right there. And it should line up with my flap. Just take a leftover piece and cut up here and create a little pocket. I took a piece of the design paper that I had left and I just sized it to my signature page here and cut it down halfway. And then I have a leftover piece of that yellow cardstock, and I want to create a pocket with this and glue this piece all the way down, and then you have space to write. You could actually write in a recipe here. And then we'll have our pocket, and I thought we could decorate it with, you know, one of these ephemera pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to create our pocket here. And this is where I'll just use some trim. Let's see. Okay, so I think I'm going to take my stencil here and stencil the background on here before applying my trim. And I think I'm going to use my Faded Jeans and Wilted Violet, a combination of the two. And I might bring in some of that Rusty Hinge as well. have a faded jeans. Kind of like this. I might take this piece and then just cut that edge there. Kind of hides a lot of the stencil that I just did, but I think I like that a lot better. So I'm going to cut these blades from here. I'm just going to mark where I want to cut those. Just going to cut those off. This edge here. There. So I'm going to glue just this section right there. And I think I'm going to cut this in half just to make it go a little further. Then we have our little recipe card here. I can go in that pocket. And we can put in another recipe card going in the other pocket. And then we have this flap here that will probably be glued down onto one of our other signatures, so I'm not going to worry about, you know, having to decorate that. I just have to figure out what I want to attach it to. So we have our other signature page that we previously worked on, and our little flap that we created from the packaging, and then we can attach our flap to this. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then let's see, right about there, I think. And I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is, I think most of you have envelopes from your bills or bank or whatever, and it's got the window. And so I'm going to use one of these envelopes, and then you received a piece of cardstock in pink and cream. And so we're going to use these pieces here, and then on your one of your designs that you printed out, you have this design here, and it's got this flower. You're going to want to fussy cut out this flower, and I did round off the edge there to make it look like there were petals, so I just took and cut around there. What you're going to want to do is take your envelope, and you're going to want to cut it just so it goes pretty much in half, but you know, you want your window to make sure that there's enough here to support your window. So I have this for my border. Now your envelope size is probably going to be different than mine, so you want to go according to what envelope you're using. And then I did do a little border on this edge here, just with one of my little scrap pieces, and a little piece down here. So I'm just going to heavily distress to camouflage that little bit of gray there. So now that we have that part done, I have my flower that I fussy cut out. And I'm thinking of doing something like so. So I thought we could take this, and then I have these blank index cards. And I thought we could create, you know, a little recipe, cute little recipe card. So put this on the back. And then I have these sentiments. I could use the autumn one, or there's happy fall. I like the autumn. And so I just need to figure out where to position this envelope. And then put our flower up here on top. Okay, so now I'm going to fussy cut my flower out. I have to do another one because I messed it up. So I'm going to do from this other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to glue this all together here. So I'm going to push this down as far as it'll go, and I have my autumn. I'm going to put some glue on there just to hold it in place. I'm going to just slide it underneath until I have it in the right spot, kind of centered. Have that. Hold that in place, and then I can pull it out and glue the whole thing down. There. The other thing I need to check is that it's not higher than our envelope, so I might have to cut some of this down before we do this here. Yeah, so I'm a little too high. I need to cut off right about there. And then we'll glue the flower down. Now it should sit in there perfectly. And my flower, I think I'm just going to have it sitting up. Let's see. Gotta make sure again that we don't go too high here. So it's gonna have to go down, maybe like that. And I'm not liking this stem. I'm gonna just cut that like so. Right, here that is, to kind of, whoops, hold that in place. And then I can put some more down once I have it held where I want it. And this part I might just glue down, just that stem. And then on the back is where we will put some recipe cards. We can actually put one on the back here. We create this little flap. Let it go like so. So we can put that on the back, maybe that like so. So I have one of my recipe cards that I'm going to attach to the back of that. And then I thought I would use this ephemera piece for right here. And then this I want to leave because I think I'm going to need this as a hinge later on. And I want to cover up those numbers and get it as close to this edge as possible. Okay, so now I can add in my leaves here. So I'm going to put that one underneath. I don't know if I want it to go below here or not. Don't know if I like that. Let's see. I have my butterfly. I think I'll put it right there. All right, so we have our little pocket that we did, and then we have our recipe card here. Now I have something that I can put up here. I'm thinking I'd like to put something up there. I have one of the pockets. I'm going to take this pocket and I think I'm just going to glue it down onto this page here. It really goes good with this page. So I'm going to just glue down the pocket first and then glue this part so we have our pocket. So I'm just going to glue these sides here, the bottom, and the side. I'm just going to put in some more blank index cards, and you can really have fun dressing up some of the index cards. Some other things, just to give you some ideas, you can add in some CD sleeves. Those circles fit perfectly inside the CD sleeve, so you could have some fun with that and put more recipes inside of there. And I might actually use some of these. So you could use some of those. If you have some CD sleeves, you could use these little baggies, and those recipes fit perfectly inside of there. These are just little treat bags. And then, you know, you could just add one of your leaves and a sentiment and do something cute like that. I'm just trying to give some additional ideas of how you could decorate your little booklet. If you're wanting to get some of these off of Amazon, these work great in any journals, really. They're just kind of fun to have. And then again, you could add in maybe a pumpkin on this one with a little sentiment. Where'd the other one go? You know, you could do something really cute like that. One other thing too is I did try to print on a white paper bag. It did jam in my printer, but it is kind of pretty, and for some different sorts of textures or other things you might want to add to your booklet, this is something kind of fun that you can do, is printing on a paper sack or a lunch sack. I got these white lunch sacks from Walmart, and so I might use this as well. I thought what would be fun, I'm going to do an update to the digital and add in more of the butterflies, because I thought it would be really cute to make these butterfly paper clips. So what I did is, it'll be on a sheet like this, and so when you get the update, you'll see you know, a sheet with butterflies and probably some extra flowers or things I might throw in. So you might get, like, you know, this much on a page. And you'll just cut around the border to start off with. So you'll see that little border that makes it easy to cut. And then after you do that, you'll cut a second one. But on the second one, you're going to go in to the design just a little bit. So you can see me cutting into the actual design. Just a little. And this is just to make it so the butterfly is a little bit smaller than the one that you cut with the border. So you'll end up with these two pieces, the one with the border and then the one where you cut inside just a little bit. And then I thought you could take a paper clip, and so what we'll do is we will glue this down on the top like so, and then put this one over to hide the top part and glue that. And then I thought that we could have it sticking up above on our little sack there. I need to glue my smaller butterfly, and I'm going to add quite a bit of glue there. Okay, so I have my glue. I'm just going to add that on top, and then I need more glue on the back there to sandwich in between. And I'm just going to let that dry. And then we'll have a cute little butterfly paper clip. I'm going to do two because I have my two bags. Paper clip. And I might distress the edges of my index card. Okay, and there's my little baggies with the index card. So I'll add those in. I wanted to make mention too that when we do these envelopes, I might create another one with the pink piece. And we had that extra flower that we didn't cut out that was on the other side of the paper that we can use for this. And I'm just going to do basically the same thing as what I did here. All right, let's see. Kind of want that little butterfly in there, so I'm going to cut right there, and actually probably more like right there. So I have my one border there, and then I need just a little slim border there. All right, and then I just need a little something right down there. I think for this wider piece, I'm going to use my tape gun again. Okay, so I think I have this set up the way that I want to put it on my card here. So I have my envelope all matted, and I thought it'd be kind of cute. I had this fussy cut out from a scrap piece of one of the design papers, and I fussy cut out the flower before I threw the rest of the paper away because it was really cut up and not really usable. So I thought I'd add that sunflower there, and then I'm going to place my flower, which I fussy cut out from the other side of the paper. So we had our flower on this side, and then we had a flower on this side. So I just cut that out and then shaped my petals. And I did have to cut some of this off to make sure that, again, it wasn't going to go too high and it had to fit inside of our envelope. I think I'm going to leave it right there. And then I have these leftover petals from the other flower that I cut out. and I thought I could add these in. And then I have this little butterfly that I fussy cut out again from one of the design papers, my scrap pieces, and my sunflower here. And so I think I'm going to decorate it that way, or embellish it kind of, you know, with those little scrap pieces that I had. I could put a recipe card or an index card on the back, so I have a little space to add a recipe if I want to. And I could do something like that. Don't want it to, you know, attach to my card there. I think that's good. All right. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting everything together, stitch it up, and again, you can embellish and decorate yours the way that you would like to. I just kind of threw in some additional ways of adding little decorative elements to your booklets. So in the first video, I showed you how I printed out the signatures, and I did it on the 32-pound copy paper. As I was going along with this project, I realized that the signature pages should probably be printed in cardstock. Now, if you've already printed like I did in the 32-pound copy paper, and you're following along, you know, you did part 1, and now you're on to this video, it's fine, because what I'm going to do is just reinforce some of my 32-pound printed designs with cardstock. And I can do that by creating pockets or just laying down a piece, you know, like I have here, and using this as a decorative element for the inside of my signature, and that'll reinforce the page. I have this design that I thought I would use. I was working with some stuff off camera, just trying to come up with some ideas, and I was going to use this, you know, because we're going to stitch down the middle of our page here, and I thought this would make a nice hinge and that this would make a really nice pocket. And then I can place my little cute little sack with the recipe and the butterfly inside like so. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So if you're going to do this, I would advise printing on cardstock. If you cannot print on cardstock because your printer will jam, you can just take like I'm going to do here, and I'm going to pull out some of that cream cardstock that I got from Michael's. So I have this piece left over, and I'm going to glue this down and then just cut this out. All right, so I'm going to glue that a little higher there. And I think I'm going to take my scoreboard and score right down here so we can get it to fold easier. And then this will sit inside like so. And I can actually create another little pocket here. So I am going to glue here and here, and then I'll have another pocket going this way. Right, this, you know, I might just add in that for now. So placement holder. Okay, so we'll have those there. A little sack here. And we're going to place that inside. And then we have our little pocket with our recipe here. On the back, I thought what I would do is take one of these circles, create a little pocket, and then use that like so for our little baggie. And then you can add in some blank index cards behind it. So I'm just going to glue, make sure we have it going the right way. Just going to glue very closely to the bottom and sides there. All right, we're going to go way down here. That works. Okay, so I have my little pocket that I created. And what I want to do now is, I know I need to have this connected to another signature. So I'm going to take one of my cardstock signatures that I printed, and I'm going to cut here and here and create a hinge for two of my signatures. I'm going to go right past the butterfly. So see, I still have my butterfly and I still have my flower. And then on this other side, I think I'm just going to cut, you know, right where that flower is. I just need enough to create a good hinge is all I'm doing. So there are different widths on each side, but that's okay. I can use that there, and then I can connect this one to there, this pocket here, or this page, just to add another decorative element or something. This, and I have this. This one, I like that. I think I might cut that down and just kind of mat that little section there. About there. About there. And then I'm going to round my corners. I want to distress it lightly. Oh, it kind of looks like it should go that way, huh? But I kind of like that sunflower. Ooh, okay. Well, that's going there because I just touched it to the page. Thank goodness it went on kind of straight. So I'll have that again. We'll have that connected like so. Now we have this back, and I think I might take another piece, create another hinge. I have to figure out what I want here. Okay, so let's start assembling this. I think to connect this envelope to this page, I am going to have to cover my pumpkin, but I think I am going to print another one of these pages. So I'm just going to glue that down with a little bit of glue. Make sure I got it right up to that edge. So there's that, and then when I print my other page, it will go over that flap. Now we have this that I want to connect to this partial signature that I have. We cut off part, so we'll cut this down, and it's about, I would say, 3/4 of an inch. And then, let's see, I'm just going to take my scissors and we're going to cut there. And then up here where I made that other mark. So I have just enough of a hinge. And again, this is going to be stitched in. So that stitching is going to help, you know, reinforce everything. Now I have that there. And I just need to figure out, I do want to mat this. I don't want to leave it white. So I'm going to take one of my other papers. I think I'll use this one. I haven't used that one. And I'm going to mat the inside of it. And then maybe we can create another pocket or something. So I want it to go like so. And I think I'm just going to take my tape gun and adhere it to the page and then trim it. Okay. So distress those edges. Again, this Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide goes so perfectly with this collection. I love it. I love this color. Then I'm going to take this and connect it to our signature that we have here. And I'm going to do that using some burlap. So you have some burlap in your trim pack, and I'm just going to cut a piece about so. And while I have my clips out, I'm going to go ahead and connect this. So I want to make sure that I don't go over my pocket here. So I want it to be glued down right on this edge here. So I'm going to apply the glue. And then I'm going to clip that down, just that one side. We'll let that dry. Okay, I just kind of held it in place for a few minutes, and the white glue, my white glue, holds it down beautifully. I just had to hold it there for just a few minutes. Okay, so now I need to attach this piece to our burlap. And what I did is I just kind of took the burlap here and folded it. And now I'm going to glue this piece onto there. And I'm applying a substantial amount of glue here because I really want it to stick to that burlap. I might just kind of take here and lay this flat. And clamp that down. While I'm waiting for this to dry, I thought I'd go ahead and stamp the muslin that I'm going to use for the spine part of our envelope. So I'm just going to do black because, again, I know everybody received black. And for those of you who received another color, you know, you can use a different color aside from just black. There. And then I'm gonna just continue along here. That one turned out good. All right. And now what I can do is, if I want, I can put these little sentiments. I have best wishes. Just maybe do just wishes. And I think I'll do just wishes up there too. All right, so now I have my muslin piece all stamped. And I can take some Distress Oxide and, you know, do the edge, distress it in like maybe purple, or I think I'm just going to continue. Actually, I'm just going to continue with this Rusty Hinge color. We'll do that. We'll just kind of see how it looks. Okay, I want to make sure that I move everything as far away from this as I can, so I'm not splattering something. I don't want to get splattered. I'm going to take the icky brush that came in the set here, and I'm going to do blue. Kind of hard to get a little pool of the watercolor on my sheet here, which is just the back of my shipping labels, but it makes great palette paper. So I save all of those. It's a great way to recycle them and use them. Now I'm going to add in some red because I want a purple color. So there is our stamped muslin piece, and then I just splattered some of the watercolor onto there, and we're going to call that good. Okay, this should be dry, so we can go back to this. Okay, so that is going to go there. Let's see. No, is it going here? I think that's how we were doing it. Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is gonna go like so. We just attached this burlap, and we had that little hinge that we created here to attach this signature page. But that is what we have so far. And here, kind of same thing. Just gonna kind of go along and reburnish. 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 We're gonna reburnish it. Okay, so everything, you know, has a nice flip to it. You don't want anything to, you know, kind of be stuck. You want everything to flip pretty nicely, as you can see here. So I have this piece here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I know we're going to be stitching right down through there because it's going to be the center. This is going to be the top. But we still have to connect other parts of our pages here. We're getting to where we'll be able to put it all together here pretty soon, get it stitched inside. So the next one I'm going to do is this. I have some index cards that I kind of threw in there, but I might take and actually use some of the recipe cards that came in the collection. So I'm going to glue that down. So I just want to line it all up. Make sure it's on there good. Make sure you can still flip everything really nicely. I think that's looking good. And then we have our other envelope, which we can add. Okay. So this I'm going to lay down like so, and then I might put another print of this design going over it to secure that flap. So I'm going to just glue this flap down. Line it up to where I want it. Right there looks good. And then I will lay down another sheet of this over that flap. So I have this flap here. It's really thick and I'm not liking it. And so I'm going to cut this out, but I wanted to show this part because this is when you create and then you run into trouble and you're not quite sure what to do. Well, you can see me make the mistakes here. It's just too thick. It doesn't belong. I don't like it. And so I'm going to just take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut it out. It reminds me of my old journaling days when I would tear things apart, not like something, or my mom, she'd, you know, have a problem with something and I'd start tearing her journal apart and she'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But when it was all said and done, it did look good. And I'm hoping that, you know, I'm hoping I haven't destroyed this, but I'm just not liking it at all. And so I'm going to take it out and I can just rehinge this part together. Going to trim that edge there. So yes, you will not be doing this part because chances are, you know, you didn't create it. I hope you didn't create it. And then everything else here is hopefully connected. I might have to take some washi tape and fix that. So I might have to do that. But other than that, I don't think we have any major damage here. This is gonna go, let's see, like so. So it's that, and then I have to fix that. And then this has to go back together. So again, you know, hopefully you will not make mistakes like I do, but if you do and you're not liking something, you know, tear it out. Just call it what it is and we'll fix, you know, find something here that I might want to add in to kind of fix that, hide my little boo-boo there. I think I might use this piece of black cardstock. I was working on something and I messed it up. It's already scored on one side, and so I'm going to use that there, and then I think I'm just going to cut this down and I will have my hinge that I need to connect those two. And I like the black. I think the black looks nice, gives it a nice finished look. Okay, so I think I'll just go ahead and do like so. And then I will have that connected there. And then I just need something here. So I'm just going to glue, kind of stretch it and glue those sides down. And that will help disguise where I have my little ouchie. And then we'll have this cute little burlap pocket here. Okay, so what I decided to do next is I have this airmail envelope. You could use any envelope, you know, maybe from your stash of bills or whatever. And I thought that I would use this image. I just love this image. And so I'm going to take and position it on there and then trim around the envelope there. And so now I'm just going to use my tape gun and adhere it. to my page. Let's see, I might go this way with it. And then I do have more of these baggies, and in your update you'll have these little recipes that you can cut out, so you have a few more that you can add to your booklet here. And then I just threw in a tag, so all these little handwritten recipes you'll find in the update. And I was thinking of making this sunflower paper clip. So just a little hidden paper clip is what we're doing. I'll leave that top part hanging out. So I'm gonna let that dry. And then the last thing that I thought we would do is we have those hinged recipe cards that we did in the very beginning, and as I was going through this I'm thinking, oh no, you know, I have to incorporate these somewhere. So we didn't waste our time doing that in the first video there. So what I was thinking of doing, we have our pocket here, and I thought that we could stagger these. Now I'm going to have to cut this down here, and then we can insert this one, and then we can insert this one, and then you'll have these flaps here in the center, you know, and this will all get stitched down. And I want it up here at the top, so I'm going to just cut right above there. I'm going to go ahead and cut the bottom as well. And so we will have our flap like this. I have to glue my pocket down. And then the next one is this one, and I need to do the same thing. I'm going to cut that down. And so this one will be in the middle. And I already have it cut down, and we have this little burlap trim, so I might add that to these as well. Okay, so I got everything distressed. Now I want to glue this down to the back here just to secure our pocket a little better. And so I'm just going to put a strip of glue right there. There's our first flap. Okay, so I have this one here. That's going to go right in the middle there. And then we'll have our last one down here. I'll make sure I have these spaced evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And it's right kind of under that sunflower, like so. And then do the hinge, glue that. And it's gonna go right there. Okay, and then we have the last hinge here that we need to glue down. And I'm Just gonna line that up with the bottom of my page there. And now we have our flaps. And the only thing I might do is just add a little burlap maybe to this one up here just to, again, balance that out. On these pockets, what I think I'm going to do is I am going to just print out another one of the pockets like I did here, and then just attach it to the back, and then we'll have the same on the front and back. Now I do have to take and fold in a little further with my flaps, so I'm not going to go right at that fold. I'm going to go in about 1/16 of an inch, and then I will have to cut a little notch right up here. So I just have to go in a little bit on each side, and then it should fit on there perfectly. Okay, then I have to cut out this. I'm just going to use my hole punch, and I will just glue that on, and then I'll do the same for the other pockets. Just glue that first, and then I want to make sure I get that edge really good right here, but not so the glue goes over the edge. That's very important. And then I'll just glue that down like so. And so I can have recipe cards on the front and on the back. Okay, so one other thing I did is I had the recipe card, and then, like I said, I'll be sending you an extra file that has these handwritten recipes on it. And I just took my packaging and throw it in there. You can do that. And it's pumpkin pie, and you got the pumpkins. Just kind of adds a little something more, I think. I think I'll just cut this down and glue it and just create a clear pocket is what I'm thinking of doing here. I can even do a little flap. I think I'll just do that. And I'm just going to stick it on that edge, I think, and let it dry. And I think it'll dry clear. And then I think I'm going to create another one, because I really like that right here. And so I'm just going to cut it down to size. So I think right about there. Just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I can create another little hinge there. And I have my little recipe. So any packaging that you get, you can do this with. And then I think I'll throw in a tag and an index card. Maybe you might want to throw in a recipe card. A little assortment there, and then I will just glue that down like so, like I did the other one. So those are just some nice easy pockets to do, and you'll have those recipes, or you could add in your own recipes if you want. And then this can go back into our little pocket there. And then you could write a recipe down here. And I think we're getting close to where we just need to stitch it in. I need to get some backs here. I do have to redo this page because I put the flap there, so I have that ready to go. And then I won't see my envelope flap, and it will reinforce that in there as well. And I'm going to use my tape gun. Okay. And then I just want to make sure that those edges are down. And it provides a little more support for this page too. And again, I will have more of these sunflowers and butterflies so you can make the paper clips in that update, as well as the recipes. I just have to do those. My sunflower, I think. I do have some of these CD sleeves with the card toppers inside. I have to put my pocket there. Could maybe just throw them here, glue down the burlap and not have it as a pocket. Or I could go maybe sideways, this. So I might just glue this burlap down and then create a few flaps there. And I want to make sure I'm not going on that fold there. That's really important. So I kind of, put this a little too far on that edge. I shouldn't have done that. There. And now we have some more flaps in the places where we can put recipe cards. Okay, I think I'm going to take just some plain writing paper, and I think I got this at the Dollar Tree quite a while ago. I wish I would have picked up more, but I don't think they had very many of them. And it was probably like 3 years or so ago. But I want to include some papers here. And then I will distress the edges. Ooh, I cut that a little shorter than I wanted to. I'm going to redo it. There we go. And then this will lift up like so. And then you can, handwrite in some recipes there. And so again, I just use my tape gun for all of this. Okay, I think all I have left to do now is I fixed this back page. I need to put something there. And then I have my back pockets that I have to do. Have this done. Flaps here. And I might put something on the back of this. I'm not sure. Little flap here with our... Oh, I did reprint this, so I can put that over and finish that. And then, yeah, all I have to do is put on my pockets on the back of here. And I think it is done. Find something to put there. There. Much better. There's so many places you can put recipes. You could put an index card on the back of here, and you can just add those like so. I have this little recipe stamp set. I got this at Joann's because it says Miss Sparkle and Company. But you know, you could just take and whatever stamps you have, doesn't even have to be recipe related. You could add flowers, you could add whatever, but we just have cookies there. And then might do like desserts. Oh, got a nice big border there. That looks great. Oh well. And then I can always distress the edges too. There. So now I have those. All right, so there's that. I'm going to do the pockets, and then we're going to get this stitched in our envelope. Now, I think you can probably tell this got quite thick, and as far as it fitting in our envelope, you know, I think we're going to have to adjust the envelope. This is what I'm thinking. So we can still stitch it on this side of our envelope. I'm thinking that I'm going to score it here and then reinforce it along here and then right along here. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And then this side, same thing, just kind of reinforce it. I have to redo my Velcro dot, so I took my Velcro off. Now our sides, it's just like stretching it. And so I think I'm going to extend this flap, this side out, and score here. And then this one, you know, I'm really going to have to extend both sides out of the, you know, of these flaps. So I'm going to show you how to do that in part 3. I think I'm going to have to call it good for now because the video is getting really long, and so I'm going to come back and show you how we're going to extend our envelope. We're going to stitch everything inside, and then we will have our booklet completed. I hope you're enjoying this project so far. I would really love to hear your comments, some feedback on what you thought of the October subscription box and these projects, and if you're having fun with them. And yeah, so if you could do that, I would so appreciate it. And if you're liking these videos, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. That would really help me out. And let me know that you're enjoying these types of videos and projects. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you back soon with part 3.